In a small town, there was an old bookstore. Everyone seemed to have forgotten about the bookstore, and the books in the window had been dusty and rushed for years. One day I randomly walked into a bookstore, and while rummaging through the shelves, I found a decrepit book. The book had a cover full of strange symbols on it, and its inner pages seemed to be written in an incomprehensible language. I bought the book and took it home. I started reading the book at night and tried to solve the mystery of strange symbols. However, every time I turned a page, the book was pulling the pages backwards. At first I was surprised, then I started to get scared. I tried to close the book, but the book stuck to me. Hours passed and the book drew me in suddenly. I was lost in strange symbols. Now I'm trapped in the book, desperately looking for a way out. A man decided to go on vacation to a deserted island. According to the inhabitants of the island, strange sounds were heard on the island. At first he did not care about these sounds, but on the first night he began to hear strange noises outside his tent. As the sounds got closer, the adrenaline surged. Strange shadows appeared among the trees, and then they began to approach decently. They stood outside the man's tent and started talking. The sounds were strange and incomprehensible, but he knew that something was wrong. As the shadows approached the tent, the man entered the tent in a panic and closed the door. However, strange sounds still kept coming from outside. The man turned and asked the people of the island to find out what the sounds were and what they wanted, but no one wanted to talk about it. He followed the sounds and eventually discovered that the inhabitants of the island were performing a strange ritual, but this ritual required paying a price, and the price was very high. A child began to turn over sleeplessly in his bed at night. In the corner of his room, he saw strange shadows bouncing off the wall. The shadows were moving as if they were dancing and forming strange figures on the wall. One night, the boy got out of his bed at the invitation of the shadows and went to the middle of his room. The shadows began to dance around him and sing songs to him in a strange language. The boy was in fear, but he felt as if he had fallen under the spell of the shadows. When morning came, the boy woke up in his bed, but his body seemed weak and aged. From that day on, he had to participate in the dance of shadows every night. Imprisoned by these strange shadows that stole his life force,